Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really thought about the bread you eat? I mean really thought about it, not just grabbing the same loaf you've been buying for years. If you're over 60, this isn't just about taste anymore, it's about your health, your energy, even how many good years you've got ahead of you. You see, bread isn't just bread. Some of the loaves we grew up loving are quietly working against us every single day. Spiking our blood sugar, feeding inflammation in our joints, and slowly robbing us of the energy we used to have. And the scary part? You might not even notice it's happening, until one day you wake up and realize your body just doesn't feel the same. I know bread feels like comfort. It's that warm toast in the morning, that soft roll at dinner, that sandwich you've been making the same way for decades. It's part of our routines, our memories, even our family traditions. But here's the truth. After 60, your body doesn't process bread the way it used to. What was harmless in your 30 or 40 can now trigger hidden changes in your heart, your brain, and your digestion. But here's the good news, you don't have to give up bread to protect your health. In fact, there are breads out there that can actually help you feel stronger, think clearer, and keep your heart healthier. You just have to know which ones to avoid, and which ones to keep close. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 breads you should never touch again, and the 3 breads you should be eating every single day if you want to feel your best and keep your body running smoothly. Some of these might surprise you, and some might break your heart a little, but trust me, it's worth knowing the truth. And I want you to be part of this conversation, because your experience matters. Comment the word bread below if you're ready to find out which loaves are helping you thrive and which could be quietly hurting you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide, because around here, we talk about real health for real people, so you can live your later years with strength, clarity, and joy. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with the most common, and the most deceptive, bread of them all, plain old white bread. Picture this. You wake up, head to the kitchen, and pop 2 slices of soft white bread into the toaster. You butter it up, maybe add a little jam, and sit down with your coffee. It feels harmless, maybe even comforting. You've done it for years. But here's what's happening inside your body before you've even finished that second slice. Within minutes, the refined flour in that white bread is breaking down into sugar, flooding your bloodstream. Your body scrambles to deal with it, releasing a surge of insulin to push that sugar into your cells. And because there's no fiber to slow it down, the sugar hits you all at once, giving you a quick burst of energy, followed by a crash that leaves you feeling tired, sluggish, and craving more food just an hour later. White bread is stripped bare. All the good stuff, the fiber, the vitamins, the minerals, has been milled away. What's left are empty carbs with almost no nutritional value. And sure, the packaging might say, enriched, but adding back a sprinkle of synthetic vitamins is like taking a house, ripping it apart, and then putting 1 or 2 bricks back. It doesn't make it whole again. Now, here's where it gets more serious. Eating white bread regularly after 60 doesn't just mean a little weight gain. Those rapid blood sugar spikes and crashes, over time, can lead to insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is the doorway to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. For some people, it also worsens joint inflammation and makes blood pressure harder to control. The tricky part is, most people don't feel this happening. There's no sudden alarm. It's quiet. You might just notice you're more tired in the afternoons, or your belly's harder to keep flat, or your knees ache a little more. And you might blame it on age. When in reality, it could be years of eating the wrong kind of bread. So, what do you do if white toast has been part of your life for decades? You don't have to give up bread entirely. If you love that morning routine, swap those slices for a true whole grain or sprouted grain bread. These keep the bran and germ intact, giving you fiber, B vitamins, and minerals your body desperately needs, especially now. And remember, it's not just about cutting something out. It's about replacing it with something that works for your health instead of against it. Now, let's talk about a type of bread that tricks more people than you'd think, because on the surface, it feels wholesome, even indulgent in a good way. I'm talking about those flavored and sweetened breads, cinnamon raisin, banana nut, cranberry walnut, you know the ones. You pass them in the bakery aisle, and they almost call your name with that sweet, warm smell. It's easy to picture yourself slicing into one, maybe toasting it lightly, the aroma filling the kitchen. You think, it's got raisins, fruit is healthy. It's got nuts, nuts are good for me. And yes, raisins and nuts can be healthy, but here's the catch. Most of these breads are loaded with added sugars, syrups, or sweet glazes. In some cases, a single slice can have as much sugar as a small cookie. And that's before you even add jam or honey. Here's why that's a problem, especially after 60. Excess sugar doesn't just give you a quick energy rush followed by a crash, it fuels inflammation throughout your body. Inflammation is like a slow, silent fire. You don't feel it burning day to day, but over time, it wears down your joints, puts strain on your heart, and even interferes with your brain's ability to stay sharp. And it's not just about inflammation. High sugar intake has been linked to faster skin aging, meaning more wrinkles, less elasticity. Because sugar molecules can damage collagen in your skin. And for your brain? Those constant sugar spikes can actually impair memory and focus over time, making it harder to think clearly and remember the details you used to recall so easily. The misunderstanding here is that because the bread has visible fruit or nuts, it must be healthy. But the truth is, in most store-bought versions, the sugar content outweighs whatever benefit those ingredients might offer. The fruit is often sweetened or dried with extra sugar. The nuts might be candied or used in such small amounts they hardly make a difference. So, what can you do if you love that burst of flavor in your bread? You don't have to give it up entirely, you just have to take control of what's in it. Instead of buying a loaf that's already sugar-loaded, start with a healthier base bread, like a true whole grain or sprouted loaf, and add your own toppings. Sprinkle a little cinnamon on top, add fresh berries or slices of banana, and you'll get that sweet, satisfying taste without drowning your body in processed sugar. This small change can protect your joints, keep your blood sugar stable, and give your brain the steady fuel it needs to stay alert and sharp. But there's one type of bread that's even more dangerous for seniors, especially if you have heart issues. And sadly, this one is often sold as artisan or fresh from the bakery, making it feel like a premium, healthier choice. In reality, it can silently work against almost every major system in your body if you're over 60. Let me tell you about John. He's 68, still active, loves walking his dog every morning, and enjoys dinner rolls from the local bakery almost every evening. He's been eating them for years, fresh, warm, soft on the inside, with that crisp golden crust. To him, they're the perfect comfort food. But over time, he started noticing little changes. His knees ached more than usual, his energy seemed to dip earlier in the day, and sometimes his stomach just felt off. He didn't connect the dots at first. After all, bread is bread, right? But here's the thing. Many bakery rolls and so-called artisan loaves are made with highly refined wheat flour that's packed with concentrated gluten and often a mix of additives to improve texture, shelf life, and rise. Now, gluten in its natural form isn't automatically bad, but when it's concentrated and combined with certain additives, it can become harder for your digestive system to handle, especially as you get older. The gut lining can become more sensitive with age, and that extra strain can trigger inflammation. You might not have celiac disease, but you can still feel the effects in subtle ways: bloating after meals, that heavy, sluggish feeling in your belly, a bit of brain fog, or joints that feel stiffer than they used to. The misconception is thinking, if I'm not allergic to gluten, I'm safe. But the reality is, the way many modern breads are processed means they deliver a much denser hit of gluten than our grandparents' bread ever did. And for someone over 60, whose body may already be managing age-related inflammation, that extra load can push the system over the edge. So, what's the solution if you love bread but want to avoid that hidden toll on your body? Look for breads made from sprouted grains or those naturally fermented, like traditional sourdough. The sprouting process breaks down some of the gluten and unlocks nutrients, making it easier to digest. Fermentation does something similar, essentially pre-digesting parts of the bread before it even reaches your plate. Small changes like this can ease pressure on your digestive system, reduce inflammation, and keep you feeling lighter and more energetic after meals. Now that you know the 3 breads to steer clear of: the soft white loaves, the sugar-loaded flavored breads, and these refined gluten-heavy bakery rolls, let's turn the page. Because the truth is, bread doesn't have to be the enemy. In fact, the right kinds of bread can become one of your best allies for energy, heart health, and even sharper thinking after 60. Let me introduce you to Mary. She's 72, sharp as ever, and still loves her quiet mornings. For years, she'd start her day with 2 slices of white toast, thinking nothing of it. It was simply routine. But after her last checkup, her doctor suggested she try swapping to 100% whole grain bread. Mary wasn't sure it would make much difference, but she decided to give it a try. Within just a few weeks, she noticed something surprising. Her digestion felt smoother, she wasn't as bloated after breakfast, and she had more steady energy throughout the morning. That mid-morning slump she used to push through? Gone. The reason is simple: whole grain bread is the real deal. Unlike white bread, which is stripped of all the good stuff, 100% whole grain bread keeps the bran, the germ, and the endosperm intact. That means you're getting fiber to keep your digestion regular, B vitamins to support your energy and brain function, and minerals like magnesium and iron that your body relies on for heart health and oxygen circulation. Fiber is the star player here. It slows the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, helping you avoid those roller coaster spikes and crashes that leave you tired and craving more food. And it's not just about blood sugar. Fiber also feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut, which can strengthen your immune system and even improve your mood. But here's the catch: not all bread that looks brown or says whole grain on the package is actually 100% whole grain. Some are just dyed darker with molasses or caramel color, and many are mixed with refined white flour. That's why the label matters. Always look for those exact words: 100% whole grain. Anything less means you're still getting a blend that won't give you the full benefit. Making this one switch, just replacing your daily bread, can lower your cholesterol, stabilize your blood pressure, and keep your heart working more efficiently. And the best part? It still tastes satisfying, especially when toasted with a bit of avocado or topped with a slice of fresh tomato. Now, if whole grain bread is like a dependable friend who always looks out for you, sprouted grain bread is that same friend but with an extra spark of energy. Sprouted bread isn't just a passing health trend, it's a food that's been quietly working wonders for centuries. Here's the difference. Instead of grinding dry grains straight into flour, the grains are first allowed to sprout, just the way nature intended before we started processing everything to death. In those first stages of growth, the grain changes. It begins breaking down its own starches into simpler sugars, and that makes it much easier for your body to digest. Mary's neighbor, Harold, 75 and still tending his garden, used to feel heavy and sluggish after sandwiches. His daughter brought him a loaf of sprouted grain bread, and he decided to give it a try. A few days in, he noticed something: he didn't feel weighed down after lunch anymore. His stomach felt calmer, and he even had a bit more pep in his step during his afternoon walk. There's real science behind it. Sprouting reduces what we call anti-nutrients, compounds that block the absorption of minerals like iron, zinc, and calcium. By lowering those anti-nutrients, sprouted bread helps your body make the most of every bite. Sprouting also increases antioxidants, those little warriors that help fight aging and protect your cells. And for many people, sprouting even reduces the gluten content enough to make it gentler on the gut, perfect for those who aren't fully gluten intolerant but still feel discomfort after eating regular bread. If you're shopping, you might notice brands like Ezekiel, a popular choice because it blends sprouted grains with legumes for extra protein. But if you're feeling adventurous, you can make your own with sprouted wheat berries, rye, or even quinoa. It's a bit of work, but for those who love a project in the kitchen, it's worth it. Now, as wonderful as sprouted bread is, there's another bread that deserves its own spotlight, one with a history as old as civilization itself, and a flavor so distinct it's captured hearts for thousands of years. Let's talk about sourdough. Sourdough isn't just about taste, although that tangy, hearty flavor is enough to make anyone smile. The magic is in the process. Instead of commercial yeast, sourdough is made with a natural starter, a living culture of wild yeast and beneficial bacteria. During its slow fermentation, something amazing happens. The gluten begins to break down before you even take a bite. That means your digestive system has less work to do, and for many, it means fewer uncomfortable symptoms after eating bread. But there's more. The bacteria in sourdough actually create compounds that feed your good gut bacteria, making it a natural probiotic in its own right. It's like bread that's working behind the scenes to keep your digestion smooth and your immune system strong. And because the fermentation slows down how your body processes its natural sugars, sourdough can help reduce those quick blood sugar spikes that leave you drained and craving sweets. The key is to choose the right sourdough. Look for loaves made from whole grains and natural starters, not the quick, commercial versions that skip the fermentation magic and load up on white flour. If you see only flour, water, salt, starter on the ingredients list, you found the real deal. So, whether it's the nutrient-rich comfort of whole grain, the digestibility of sprouted grain, or the probiotic boost of sourdough, the bread you choose can truly be your body's ally after 60. And now that we've covered the healthiest choices, it's time to talk about how to make the perfect switch, without feeling like you're giving anything up. It's not easy to give up breads you've enjoyed your whole life. That warm slice fresh from the oven, the scent filling the kitchen. The way it brings you back to childhood breakfasts or family gatherings. For many of us, bread isn't just food, it's a piece of our history. But here's the truth, every choice you make at the table today shapes the way you feel tomorrow. Every healthier slice is an act of self-care, a small step toward a future where you wake up with more energy, less stiffness, and a clearer mind. Think about it, not having to pause halfway up the stairs to catch your breath. Not feeling that afternoon slump drag you down, not waking up with swollen joints wondering what you did wrong. These little victories add up, and they start with something as simple as what's on your plate. Yes, change can feel uncomfortable at first. But every time you reach for bread that truly nourishes you, you're telling your body, I want you to last. I want you to thrive. It's not about restriction, it's about liberation. Liberation from the fatigue, the aches, the silent damage that builds up over time. So, the next time you walk through that grocery aisle, don't just toss a loaf into your cart out of habit. Pick it up. Turn it over. Read what's inside. That tiny moment of awareness could mean years of better health for your heart, your brain, and your joints. And remember, your favorite meals don't have to vanish. They just need a healthier foundation. You can still enjoy toast with your morning coffee, sandwiches at lunch, or bread with your favorite soup. The difference is, now you'll be choosing versions that give back to your health instead of taking from it. So today, we uncovered the breads that quietly harm your body, highly processed white bread, sugar-packed flavored breads, and refined gluten-heavy loaves. And we explored the ones that can help you thrive after 60. 100% whole grain bread, sprouted grain bread, and traditional sourdough made the right way. Now, I want to hear from you. Will you be making a switch this week? Which bread will you say goodbye to, and which one will you welcome into your kitchen? Or, is there one you just can't part with yet? Share your thoughts in the comments, I read every one, and your stories inspire not just me, but everyone watching. If you found value in today's video and want more trusted senior health tips, join our community by subscribing to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Together, we'll make the golden years truly golden, full of strength, energy, and joy. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay informed, and remember, your health is worth every mindful choice you make. I'll see you in the next video.